Doesn't seem like many are out yet, but there's definitely an abundance of copperheads up under this rock. You can see there's a head on the left there, 3 heads, 4 heads, at least 4 right here. Good morning, everybody. We had a lot of rain last night, and I'm hoping that will actually stimulate some activity, but not be so much so that the creek is completely washed out. There went a kingfisher. The creek is definitely a little bit high, but this section right here is always murky, so I'm hoping that we'll have decent water clarity and it'll be wet enough that the snakes will be a little bit more active. I actually have already found our first cottonmouth of the day. You can barely see his head and tail right here. But I really want to track down some gravid female cottonmouths that we might be able to see once they give birth in a couple of weeks. Because we've seen that with timber rattlesnakes, we've seen it with copperheads, but we haven't seen it, oh, there went that guy. We have not yet seen that with cottonmouths, and I would really like to. The goal today is just going to be to find some snakes and turtles in the swamp and maybe find some gravid female cottonmouths that we'll hopefully be able to see with their babies in a couple of weeks. I did actually come out to this same area yesterday, and I was mostly biking around hoping that there would be stuff actually crossing the path. Did not see anything crossing the path, but I did see one cottonmouth all day. Granted, I didn't stay out super long because it was a lot hotter than it's going to be today. I think the high today is only about 83 degrees, which is pretty amazing for this time of year. So there's a beast. Terrible video because of how dark it is, but there is a big common snapper right there. I thought it was an alligator snapper at first, but it is in fact a common. Just hanging out in this little pool. It's a good sized one too. I might strap up the GoPro and grab him. That's so cool though. Just this little bit of water in this tiny little creek is enough to support a fully grown common snapping turtle. And they definitely get a little bit bigger than that, but and that's pretty big. All right, so for those that aren't familiar, common snappers are a lot more flexible than alligator snappers. There's a frog. And because of that, they're actually a lot harder to handle. Oh my God, that's a big turtle. Oh, look at him. Hey, dude. Wow. That is one of the bigger common snappers I have ever caught. Very cool. Look how smoothed out his shell is. Hey, buddy. What's up, dude? Wow. He is heavy. Very cool. Relax. I'm a little gassed from wrangling this guy because he's just so big. But look at that. Massive head on this thing. I mean, it's like, and look at that dewlap he's got. That is such a cool looking turtle. Like I said, these guys are a lot more to handle than an alligator snapper, so even a fully grown alligator snapping turtle is not as much of a pain to catch and get a photo of as even just a normal big common snapper. I mean, this guy he's large to be sure, but they get even bigger. Look at the indent on his shell. That is nuts. Look at his head. His head is very similar to an alligator snapper, just in how big and gnarly looking it is. But he is just, in fact, a large common snapper. Look, his male parts are hanging out. Well, there's no questioning if you're a boy or girl now. All right, dude, I'm gonna go put you back in your deep pocket. Come on. Here you go, buddy. So sick. You can see him kind of going up under the bank there. I see a lot of common snappers in these really tiny offshoot fingers of swamps like this. I'm assuming it's because they come up into them just like the cottonmouths do when they're kind of dry in search of stranded food. Like big pools full of frogs, tadpoles, fish that they can just gorge themselves on. Cool to see though. For the most part today, I think we're going to be kind of charting unexplored territories in this swamp. that we know pretty well, but there's still a lot of places that I haven't actually been to, so we're gonna try to check some of those more obscure and remote parts of the swamp out today. Well, it's been a while since I've seen a snake, but there is some evidence of snake here. I think this is probably gonna be a big cotton shed. Could be a big Nerodia. I'd definitely go with cottonmouth though. Actually, this is the head. We can see for sure. If I can get it to unfold. Yeah, it's a cottonmouth. It's definitely a cottonmouth. Kind of neat. We don't see cottonmouth sheds like that very often. Kind of surprised we haven't seen any more cottonmouths, but also at the same time, they could be anywhere in this right now. There's a decent amount of water, a lot of places for them to be hunting. Well, it's been a fat minute, but there is our next cottonmouth. Oh, where'd he go? All right, here he go. Oh, dude, here he is. Brother, relax, brother. I mean you no harm. He's an energetic little dude. Very pretty though, nice and dark coloration on him. The tail wag is unbelievable. They really do just like straight up wag their tail. Very nice. All right, we'll let him go. Cottonmouth number 2. Was hoping since it's a little bit cooler today that the cottonmouths wouldn't be so flighty, but both the ones we've seen have been very, very hesitant to stick around. Can't blame them though. Whoa. This is my least favorite thing about this swamp. They'll just randomly sink up to your ankles or knees or even deeper in the mud. How is there not a cottonmouth right here? All right, I think I'm gonna start making my way to a more user-friendly area. This is a cool section of floodplain, but it is very, very muddy and hard to navigate right now after all that rain. Definitely need to come back and try this one when it's a lot drier, which is pretty dry right now, but it's all recently saturated from the rain we had. I'm almost back to the car, but I did just spot this guy. Kind of interesting. An eastern box turtle just buried in the mud. I'm assuming that that little spot right there is where his head comes up when he needs to breathe. There's his head. Can't see it very well because of how muddy it is. You can see him moving his eyes. Oh, that's so cool. It's pretty cool. There's a couple of gar on the bottom here. A brown snake under a log. She is very gravid. It'd be cool if she has her babies under this log and we can come back and find them in a week or two. Because they're so small and so active in the winter, and really one of the first species to become really active in the spring. These guys have babies really early, definitely probably one of the first species to have them in the middle of the summer, more so than in the fall like a lot of snakes. So we'll let her go back under this log and maybe check up on her in a couple days. Here's a little narrowmouth toad. Probably haven't shown one of these in a while. Very, very cool. These are such unique little frogs. Never get tired of seeing them, but they are quite common, so I don't show them very often. There's another narrowmouth. This little wetland's full of them. All right, everybody. Well, it hasn't been the most productive morning, but it has been the best morning this week so far. It has been pretty rough recently. We've done numerous attempts at road cruising and numerous attempts at hiking. I've been out every day this week, and this is the first day that I think I've gotten content that's going to actually end up in a video. But that being said, July is one of the toughest times of year, if not the toughest time to find just stuff. Honestly, it feels like winter is easier sometimes. But we are going to get out again tomorrow and hopefully be seeing some rattlesnakes and maybe copperheads in the mountains. So I'm going to call today here, make my way back to the car, and I will see you guys first thing in the morning tomorrow. All right, everybody, it is the next morning. The sun has yet to rise. And even when it does come up, it's only going to get up to around 76 degrees today, which is pretty crazy considering we just came out of a heat wave where it was getting up into the high 90s almost every day for weeks on end. But I'm not going to complain about this kind of change. This is the kind of weather that I've been hoping that we would have for weeks now. So we finally got some drought busting rain, it seems, and some cool temperatures coming this way. So we're gonna spend the day hiking in the mountains looking for rattlesnakes. I've got quite a drive ahead of me though, so I'm gonna knock that out and I will check in with you guys when we get to our destination. All right guys, we are in the mountains and walking through some of the steepest terrain known to man in search of timber rattlesnakes. So hopefully we'll be having a nice snaky day today. Feels really good out here. Very, very overcast. We had a lot of rain last night, so should be decent conditions for stuff to be out basking. All right, first snake of the day. A nice chunky eastern garter snake, possibly gravid. Good start. Probably something we're gonna see plenty of today. Well, it's not the best look, but
yeah, and we can.
Here we go.
And then try to come back, come out.
Yeah. 2 timbers. Gorgeous. And I saw at least 1 copperhead back there behind that one too. Yeah. Awesome. Big pile of sheds. That's a beefy timber, dude.
And there could be, so like over here.
Doesn't seem like many are out yet, but there's definitely an abundance of copperheads up under this rock. I see, you can see there's a head on the left there, 3 heads, 4 heads, at least 4 right here. And this is actually a spot I've never been before. It's kind of a bummer they're not out in this perfect weather, but cool to see them. And we have the rest of the day. That one in the back is very deep in shed. And there's yet another one. Also, still not out yet. There's at least the 3rd timber. Very nice. All right, guys. Well, this first timber that we looked at, there's the other one further back, but this is definitely the best look we've gotten so far. She's actually inched a little bit further towards us while we've been sitting here watching. I don't know if she's going to come out or not, but we got a pretty good look at her sitting right here at the entrance of her rock. You can actually see the copperheads behind her pretty well right here too. And then that's at least 1 more timber over there in the back. All right, spot number 1 was not a failure, but all the snakes were pretty well tucked into their rocks. So we are currently making our way back down the mountain to head to our second spot for the day. Consider the following: an orange guy. That is one of the most vibrant little salamanders I have ever had the pleasure of seeing. See if I can get him to look at the camera. Nope. That is so pretty. Man, there he goes. That is nuts. I mean, all red Fs are pretty, but like these Montane ones are another level of neon. Look at him. All right, we'll continue on. Very cool. Well, there's a gorgeous timber just sitting out in the open. Matt almost stepped on it, because why would he just be sitting out on the rock like that? But there he is. That's gorgeous.
Look at that in the sun.
That is nuts, dude. That thing was very clearly sleeping, and we just woke it up. It kind of jolted awake and is obviously still being a sweetheart, but that is such a nice timber. That is unreal. I mean, that is just... God, how can you not say that's one of the best snakes in the U.S.? You just can't. That's incredible. All right, we'll leave that one. We'll leave that one right there and see if we can get some more. We just arrived at spot number 2 for the day, so hopefully there will be more ahead of us. But if not, I mean, that makes the day easily right there. Look at how wide its stripe is. That is just absolutely unreal. Freshly shed. Absolutely stunning. I could sit here and ramble about this snake all day, but we want to give her her space. That is just absolutely bonkers. And this is presumably her shed right here. All right, well, we made a full lap through this area and did not see any more timbers. We did find a bunch more yellow jackets. And this beauty has moved into the shade while we were gone, so one last look at her, or him, not sure. This doesn't really look like a female to me, so. And then we're gonna probably head on to our next spot, whatever that may be. All right, on the way back to the car, and we've got a nice big garter snake stretched out on the crawl. Very pretty. Let's kind of see if I can step over. Might be gravid, but very nice looking snake regardless. Definitely a little bit heavy on the back end, but it might just be puffing up a bit for show. All right, we're almost back to the car. I think we're gonna kind of shift gears and go look for some more difficult targets for the rest of the day. So, not sure if we'll see too much else, but if we do see anything, there will be a decent chance that it could be something really cool. So, we shall see. There's a slimy salamander in this tube. Look at him. Well, here's a garter snake at our next spot. Nothing crazy, but it is one of the only snakes I've ever seen here, so that's nice. We're looking mostly for pygmy rattlesnakes now. There's definitely potential to find some other stuff too, but nice to actually get on the board here at this spot, which has been pretty tough to actually find snakes in so far. Nice spot by Matt as I was about to step on it. We'll just leave that guy to it. We've seen a couple of them today.
That one's nice. Really nice.
Yeah, he's nice and contrasty. Velvety looking, fresh shed maybe. Here's a little hatchling 5-line skink. Very small and adorable. Good food for pygmies. Shouldn't hang out right here, dude. Too much traffic. What is this guy doing? A box turtle with his butt hanging out of this stump. A pretty handsome looking guy. Get a quick voucher of him and then we'll leave him alone. Actually, he might bring his head out for us. Look at that. Very nice. The task of finding a pygmy in habitat is just so intimidating. Even though it's something I've done once before. I feel like I've spent so much time trying to replicate that. And it just doesn't happen. Doesn't seem like it's gonna happen today either. Oh, it's that time of year again, where everybody's favorite invasive spider is all over the place. All right, everybody, we are currently headed home in the rain, but it was a pretty fantastic day in the mountains. Always nice to see some timber rattlesnakes, along with some decent bycatch as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this episode up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this cool and wet weather will continue and we'll be able to have a productive next couple of weeks. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time. A last minute snake on the way home. It's a brown snake. And I don't have my flashlight, so I'm using my phone light and it's terrible, but we'll get him out of the road. Nice way to end the day.